Welcome to Casual Crafting. In this video, I will continue building the Gundam XXXG-01W Endless Vaults. In the last video, I began the build, and that was a real learning experience on how to film build videos. I ran into all sorts of trouble with tracking my hands and focusing. And this time round, I think I figured out some of those problems and hope to do better this time. So in the last video, we finished building the first build segment of the Gundam, which is the cockpit. And then it includes a pilot hero, which I colored with Sharpie markers. That green thing in front of the cockpit is called a search eye, and it's some kind of data collection device for the artificial intelligence that is part of the Gundam. Alright, let's get started. Looks like I need the F3, which is this guy, and you can see I use a marker to actually write the letter more clearly because you can hardly see it. Grey on grey lettering, wonderful. Alright, so I need F2 and F1. Where are you? It's these two parts. And I'm cutting over my bin. Let's give it a go. Where are you still connected? I guess I have to cut you here a bit more. That's one. That's two. Okay, so we got that out. And I need A30. Alright, let's see, where is A30 here? A has all sorts of colors, right? Blue, yellow, and red. Now let's see where you are. A30. This pretty big piece, which is a piece right here. It's A30, right there. Let's cut this out, and be careful I don't cut more than I need to. And then I just flip this around so I can get to the connector more clearly. So, okay, let's do some trimming. And one of those things, right, is don't cut off something you're not supposed to cut off. Needless to say, but sometimes it gets confusing and you like mistake a connector point for a actual required piece of plastic. That's one of the most annoying things, because if you cut things off wrongly, it's really hard to fix. Right, so this is where the gloves come in, because I'm coming with the knife, and I try to gently scrape the edge of the part. to remove any, I guess, small residue of plastic. So I run my finger over the top and like feel, do I feel something? Right? I do feel something, so I know that something is still there. So I do some cuts, and then that's where the file comes in. There we go. We gently file this last edge here. Try to file outwards. And then brush off the dust. Now this red part I'm treating more carefully because the red piece is quite clearly going to be a visible outward facing piece of plastic, so that's something you want to take note of, and just give it extra care. Now, as you guys might know, I have other files, but I do just find the glass file a very nice universal file. Alright, so that's done with that piece of A30, and now I'm going to work on the two F pieces. These are proper connector points, so I don't really have to worry too much about keeping them really smooth, but it's always a good practice to still cut cleanly as much as possible. You can see I don't just cut in one motion, I do multiple cuts, getting closer and closer to the actual base of the part. And you can see that generally there is not much signs of leftover knobs, as they call it. There's a bit on this one, so get out the pen knife and gently run it over the edge. And then using the file, I try to remove the last bit of that whitish mark. And there we go. Just again for best practices. Oh, best practices, it's the professional term I'm using here. I will go and push off the end of this connector, so I know that this is likely going to be one of the connectors for the arms. Okay, so that's one of them, and then we do the other one. And here the plastic just pinging off the blue bin. Yes, those little things do fly around, and then eventually you're going to hunt around your room with a vacuum cleaner trying to figure out where the bits went. Some more filing. Yep, lots of filing involved here. Brushing. Yep, this is all you see. Cut. Smooth out. Brush. And I think there's definitely some more stuff here. You can see a mark here. So try to get it off. Okay, and that journey feels good. So back to this cockpit piece that we made, and it says, how does this go? So one of these things is trying to figure out which is left or right, and the diagram shows that this thing has to be higher, so that means this guy goes on the front. Definitely an arm mount, right? Arm swings forward, I guess. And see the engineering involved here. Right? They have the arm motion restricted by these plastic structures inside here, right? So that's one side, and the other side. Right, and you can see that they paid more attention to the top than the bottom, because the bottom is hollow. The top has some things, and I made a mistake here. Look at that, because now I kind of put the this arm joint here too far angled out, so I need to remove it again and actually put it in so that it's really this way, like the other side. Okay, there we go. So it's seated properly now. Push it in. Oh, and I just realized, so this back part actually moves up and down. Oh, okay. Alright, so we got that done. And we got this piece, and I guess this piece goes up like that. So if these are Japanese model kits, everything comes together pretty easily. At this point, I don't feel any need for glue. And this is another joint connector, which will probably go over some ball type joint. Alright, and this is the first part of the 1-2. I'm gonna put this down to the side. Like and subscribe to support my channel and help me make more videos. Okay, so next they're asking for A11 and A12 and A10. Okay, well, so let's cut all the A parts out again and get the file out of the way. And let's look at A11. Where are you? Upside down. Okay, let's be around. Me and my aged eyes. Alright, okay. So let's do again. The first cuts to release the part from the from these runners. So snip, snip, snip. And I flip around to get to this part, and you can see how flat the bottom is. So the whole point here is trying to avoid stress marks to the actual parts themselves. Alright, and we have, where's 10? Where are you, 10? Number 10. Oh, this 10 is another bigger piece right here. Okay, so let's go. Actually, look at the parts, right? You have these things here. I think they're actually asking you to cut behind this, I guess, spacer, but nah, don't bother. Okay, so that's the A parts, and I got to cut parts from I and I is this yellow thing here. And then some color, right? So the different colors, what do you call it fancily, color separation, right? Where you have your model having different colors from actual colored parts rather than using stickers, right? Cheaper models would use a lot more stickers to get the color effects, right? So generally the less stickers you need, it normally implies your model is of a higher quality. Higher quality also means more expensive. So again, there was the first cuts, and I will go through again my process of doing the final cuts. And there we go again, the sound of flying little plastic bits. Kind of angling down so that those little plastic bits hopefully fly down. So for me, doing this, it's a bit of a test of my concentration, slowing down, because it's not something I can rush. Also gives me some sense of I guess attention to detail that I do like. I do some art also in general, and this does indulge me a bit of my artistic passions. So one thing about the glass files is that even though I'm kind of missing, not saying missing, but I'm definitely filing more than just the affected spot, right? The file doesn't really change the appearance too much, even if I'm filing an area that doesn't have to be filed. And that's why I prefer to use it compared to, say, the cheaper files that I may have. These glass files though are not really good for filing I guess large protrusions, I guess. Right, these are really just for so-called final polishing steps, right, where most of the material that you need to remove have already been removed. Just one piece. Snip, snip. Right, this precision nipper allows me to really go up close, right, really fat close to the part, minimizing excess plastic. So again, I give it a look. This one, I'll just use a bit of the edge. A bit of a blue mark here. Let's give this a bit of polishing up. So filing can be really tedious. I don't know how many repetitions you're gonna do. In some sense, you have to decide to what point it's good enough for you. So this blue part is also going to be an outward facing part for sure. It's going to be a visible part. Yeah, so what I'm using the knife for is trying to feel if I feel any protrusions, right? Any protrusions on the plastic, see if it's really smooth. But that can be a bit difficult. Actually nicked the plastic a bit with the tip of the knife, right? So there's some things where you got to figure out, is it worth the trouble? Because sometimes you might make it worse. Now I do have some minor scuff marks at the top of the plastic. Honestly speaking, from afar, they're not really visible. It's just one of those things, annoying things that you actually know is there. And this is A10, the big piece that we cut earlier on. I'm trying to get off some of these things off my glove. Come on, get off. There we go. So everything you're hearing is the real sounds of modeling, right? I'm not using recorded cutting sounds as I think some videos do use. I think a lot of other model videos, right, to make it I guess sound nicer, they probably record their work without audio, and then they overlay the sound effects, right, of cutting plastic and whatnot. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just a style. But I do like to show the natural way of doing things, so that you, the casual crafter, knows what's really involved. I'm done with this piece. And now these yellow thingies is probably part of some side armor feature, so again, some careful cutting. So with these things, there's some care to be taken that we don't accidentally damage the part where we edit. Right, all these things that stick out and stuff, sometimes you like, oops, and you cut off an actual, I guess, intended feature piece. And that, of course, is very annoying. Okay, so you'll see I did have a pretty good piece there. So I'm going to try to cut a bit closer, and then back to the knife again. Be careful, try to cut away excess plastic. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Can't seem to really get it. And you see how I'm cutting towards my hand to the left side. Again, that's why I wear the gardening gloves, right? I mean, you'll see that most people they use surgical gloves, but that doesn't really provide much protection. I'm using them very much as a piece of protection, and also to some degree not to leave prints on the parts, but trying not to add blood to my work is I guess a stated goal of what I'm doing. So one thing that always struck me about these models is how finely detailed. I mean, there's some really decent plastic molding going on here for them to achieve the the detail of some of the parts here. Oh, there is still something annoying there. Come on, can we get off? So there shouldn't be much need for force, right? You don't have to file it forcefully, although it's tempting. Kind of think that, oh, the harder I file, the faster material comes off. I don't really think it works that way. One thing about this is that, you know, I can kind of see the indent, and then you're wondering, hey, is this going to be like easily visible from the as a post model? The annoying part is that after you assemble it and then you look at it and you're like, damn it, I see it still, and just one of those things you see and you can't see it, right? That's annoying. Probably spending way too much time on this particular piece. But that's also part of it, right? If you want to do this quickly, then quite simply don't be so, I guess, anal about these issues, right? In the end, you control the level of, I guess, quality you want out of it. And I'm not in a rush, right? So I'm willing to spend maybe a bit more time for each piece. And there we go. Okay, so I think we have those parts here. So what does the instruction manual say? Okay, I got to do a sub-assembly for this thing. So this thing, I got to put it this way. And based on the manual, this thing goes at the bottom. So goes in like this. Outwards. Does this make sense? I guess it does. There's a bit of a gap below here, but I guess when it's fully assembled, that gap is not consequential. No, this doesn't look quite right. There we go. Some adjustments to the angle, and I'm pushing it in, and that looks like a better fit now. Okay, so this thing has some numbers, right? So numbers are supposed to tell you the order of operation. So at this point, I don't really need my bin. I'm gonna put this aside, so I have more working space. Put knife to one side, cover knife, protect hand. So it says, we've got this thingy. It says what? Push this thing back. Okay, fully. So I need to push this thing back fully. So it's this way. And it says put in a side armor piece. Okay, so there's a plastic pack here, so it goes into the hole. So I need to get it into the hole, push it in. Yep, and it's a nice fit. These things fit together pretty nicely. So it goes into the back and press it in. You know, I do appreciate the level of precision that goes into these kits. You don't really find things falling off most of the time. And see these yellow plastic holes, the rectangle holes here. I'm pretty sure go over these extrusions here, right? Center to center. Okay, let's give it a shot. So in we go. Make sure I at the right point. And there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, the snap sound. Got it in. And press harder. So at some point, if we find that we really want this to fit better, that's maybe where I might think of putting some glue. But I have to be careful because sometimes, you know, these slop or gaps may be needed for movement of other parts, right? And if you glue it up and you realize that, oh, my model has some movement problems. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to look at the thing and I'm going to figure out, okay, do I want some panel lining done up front, right? I kind of try to do it panel lining when the part's not fully assembled because I get access areas easier. So I'm going to use this fine black pen. So what I do normally is, if it's colored part, I use the black pen. If it's white, I use a gray pen. So I see a little indent here, so I'm going to add some black begin there. So panel lining, ink it, and wipe excess away with your finger. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And that's it. I don't see anything else that looks like I need extra detail. Close up the pen. I'm going to take a look at it again, stare a bit, and I'm going to get an eraser and back to the bin because I'm trying to catch you know, eraser like, I know, rubbings. And I think I just overdid it. Oopsie, it looks like I accidentally erased my panel line from this side. So here we go again. Make sure I got it in the thing, and I really kind of messed it up a bit this time. This pen slipped. So some gentle rubbing. See this side, I got it quite a bit more prominent. I don't know. For some reason, it's like I can't get the ink into this groove as well as the other side. Anyways. To be honest, I may also just need some time for the ink to maybe dry a bit more before I try to fine tune it. And I think I've done a decent enough job. So there we go. We have finished 1-2, which is, let me say, the body, which includes the arm joints and some of the body structures. This eye thing shines pretty nicely in the light, doesn't it? Right. Okay. And there we go. Completion of 1-2.